typical of the changing face of America. Like all change, all progress, generated by very real and clearly defined human needs. With the nation's population growing rapidly, increasing at the rate of 1 person every 10 seconds, millions each year, there is a continuing and urgent need for space to live, to learn, to work, to play. America is building high, wide, and handsome. Higher. Wider. And handsomer. Handsomer than ever before. The emphasis today is not on building structures that merely provide shelter, but on creating surroundings that make positive contributions to better living, easier learning, more productive work, more satisfying play. New concepts of meeting the human need for a more suitable environment. Seldom has an industry faced a greater opportunity for the creation of ideas that are in step with the mood of our times. Out of continuing research and development has grown a material whose properties set few limits on the creativity or exactitude of architects and engineers, builders and craftsmen, whose remarkable qualities permit structures that combine beauty and function, economy and long life. Known chemically as hydrous calcium sulfate, gypsum, the magic mineral. A product not of the test tube, but of nature's boundless laboratory, gypsum rock is among the world's most useful minerals. Found in layers, usually white, gypsum was formed through some geological miracle hundreds of millions of years ago. Sometimes described as both a rock and a plastic, more than 12 million tons are produced yearly, enough gypsum to fill a freight train extending from Alaska to Florida. Gypsum mines and factories are highly automated for maximum efficiency, uniform quality at low cost. Part of the process is what's known as calcining, for it is here, through the controlled application of heat, that a remarkable chemical reaction takes place. The secret that underlies gypsum's unique properties is its molecular structure. As it goes into the calciner, pure gypsum rock is made up of atoms of calcium, sulfur, and oxygen, plus molecules of chemically combined water. As heat is applied, water molecules are driven off until only 1/4 of them remain. The reaction is so violent that the gypsum rock literally boils until it emerges in a new chemical form, calcined gypsum, sometimes known as plaster of Paris. One other ingredient is of prime importance in every application. Mixed with water, it begins to acquire new properties. Now the gypsum has many of the characteristics of both a fluid and a solid. A happy union whose offspring is versatility. As a fluidized solid, it can be pumped. It can be poured. It can be sprayed. It can be cast. It can be molded, modeled, sculptured, formed to create intricate patterns and mock-ups for the precise requirements of industry, because gypsum has no form of its own. As a fluidized solid, it has whatever infinite form can be given it at the hands of man, limited only by the desires and imagination of the designer. But gypsum is not fluid for long. Now it begins to acquire an entirely new quality, the result of another chemical reaction. Calcined gypsum is thirsty, and when water is added, the reaction is like calcining in reverse, because water molecules chemically recombine with the gypsum at a rate carefully controlled by man, thus reverting to its rock-like state. Under a microscope, the process is revealed for all it is, an almost magical interweaving of crystals, symbolizing a variety of characteristics and uses. Once it is set, gypsum in its rock-like state has a variety of known physical properties which engineers can use to predict structural performance. Tested in the industry's structural laboratories, gypsum has the strength and durability needed for a variety of building applications. Qualities proved in decades of successful experience in buildings throughout America. Entire rooms of gypsum are torture tested. Load, twist, slam, jar, and bang, all proving qualities that are critical in actual use. Impact resistance, rock-hard strength and durability, an ideal base for decoration, all contribute to the lasting beauty of gypsum walls and ceilings. But no quality is of such vital importance in construction as the ability to contain fire. And it is here, in the preservation of life itself, that gypsum makes its most significant contribution. It will not burn, but more importantly, gypsum literally fights fire. Since 1/2 its volume is water, which is driven out as steam, the other side stays relatively cool, much the same way that the hand won't feel the intense heat until all the ice is melted. A flame of 1700 degrees takes almost 1 hour to eat through 1 inch of gypsum. Fire tests conducted by independent laboratories prove the point. Fire that reaches a temperature of 1700 degrees attacks a wood stud partition with gypsum on both sides, like the partitions in most homes. Blasting the partition with the powerful stream of a fire hose reveals no damage to the gypsum on the opposite side, still structurally sound. Wood studs not even scorched, and a thin layer of gypsum was the only protection. Who can measure the peace of mind that results? The feeling of security that comes with knowing this magic mineral, some 3 tons of it in the average home, is on guard every moment of every day. Other functions pale by comparison when one realizes that the difference between life and death can sometimes be measured in fractions of an inch. Meeting the requirements of modern living throughout America, gypsum wallboard is mass-produced in more than 50 large, strategically located plants. Precast and ready to use, gypsum wallboard is meeting the nation's needs at the rate of 20 million square feet a day. In fact, just one production line in 1 hour produces enough gypsum wallboard for 10 average-size homes. Produced efficiently and economically, but with precision, to very close tolerances for accurate dimension, strength, and uniform high quality. Basic reasons behind the building industry's growing use of factory-made components in all types of construction. The walls and ceilings for an entire apartment, made to order for on-the-job efficiency and modern methods of material handling that further reduce on-site costs. Thanks to modern equipment and the skill of highly trained drywall craftsmen, the growing emphasis on cost in construction need not bring with it any sacrifice in quality. Up to 64 square feet can be installed at one time, a big reason for drywall's economy. Methods of attachment. Unique to gypsum wallboard, special techniques of finishing joints, making them stronger than the board itself and truly invisible after decorating. Smooth, hard surfaces, ready days sooner for any decorative treatment. Visual appeal, engineered performance. The considerations in designing today's interiors are as many and varied as the needs to be served. To the architect, designer, or engineer, as well as to the gypsum drywall contractor who must execute each design, meeting the requirements of the construction industry is both a science and an art, a happy marriage of technology and aesthetics. Sensitive to the needs of the times, drywall contractors everywhere are making positive contributions to today's exciting design concepts, engineered to comply with building codes, with an approach to construction that is as modern and adaptable as the materials they use. Gypsum wallboard, plain and fancy, smooth and textured, wood grains and vinyl coatings, colors, sizes, types, thicknesses to meet every conceivable requirement. Even wallboard backed with aluminum foil to reduce transmission of water vapor and heat. Steel studs and other structural components to erect complete walls, partitions, ceilings. A wide variety of trim accessories and other finishing materials. Offering virtually unlimited ways to divide space in buildings framed with wood or steel. Today's drywall contractors combine modern materials with know-how and skill to fire protect the structure and its occupants, providing interiors that are attractive and easy to live with far longer. Interiors with built-in benefits. Sturdy, non-combustible gypsum wallboard installed in single layers or laminated for even greater resistance to fire and sound transmission. Typical of the way today's drywall contractors are setting new standards of excellence in modern interiors for any type of building. Partition systems, which reflect the ingenuity of men and the versatility of materials. Techniques which reduce construction costs and provide greater utility. Streamlined and thin to save floor area without sacrificing the qualities of a gypsum wall. New systems that provide as much as 2 hours of fire resistance, yet only 2 inches in thickness. Solid gypsum, formed by successive laminations of gypsum wallboard for all-around performance and economy. Designed with a purpose. Beyond their basic utility, gypsum wallboard systems provide opportunity to relieve the growing problem of sound transmission from one room to another. The problem lies in the fact that sound travels in waves of energy, a rapid pushing and pulling that vibrates the entire wall, just as the diaphragm of a telephone vibrates. So sound is recreated on the opposite side. But when the wallboard is held away from the structural frame, using various spring-like faceting methods, the free-floating design lets the face of the partition serve as a shock absorber, actually cushioning the energy of the sound waves to bring quiet to the next room. The wooden frames of buildings, whether home or school, ignite at temperatures as low as 400 degrees and should be fire protected. Surprising as it may seem, gypsum wallboard, only 5/8 inch thick, can provide a 1-hour fire-resistive ceiling construction. Built for a lifetime, yet low in cost. Fire protection is especially vital to steel because it may start to lose strength at temperatures of about 850 degrees. Steel beams can be protected with a gypsum wallboard ceiling, forming a fireproof membrane that's extremely light in weight to save structural steel cost. Steel columns can be given the same low-cost fireproofing. Steel corner beads for rugged use. And whatever the construction, skyscraper or home, gypsum wallboard makes possible an almost infinite choice of finishes and textures. The ingenuity of modern drywall contractors allows the interior designer free rein to his imagination to meet almost any criteria of design, flexibility of form and shape, as well as building code requirements. Performance with distinction. Interiors with a future, available and ready to use today. Thanks to those who design and build today's modern structures, Americans indoors are almost literally surrounded by gypsum. At play or at work, at home or in school, you shouldn't be far from a gypsum wall. A wall that can serve as an effective barrier against the transmission of sound. And beyond the beauty, where you cannot see, columns and other structural members are fireproofed with gypsum, applied to steel to keep it relatively cool and structurally sound in case of fire. Fireproof gypsum ceilings that protect steel beams. Fireproof gypsum roof decks that are light in weight and reduce the cost of the steel frame. Think of your home, its walls and ceilings, the vital wood framing that supports the structure, covered with gypsum on the inside, sheathed with gypsum on the outside. An all-round firefighter that makes any home, whatever the exterior, a safer investment. To those who envision and America's needs, gypsum is designed for the job of utilizing space to its utmost, creating surroundings that fit the patterns and the pace of modern living, that permit the designer to capture the mood of the time and the place, to soothe with it, excite with it, control light or sound with it, offer peace and security, build strength and maturity in centers of learning or sanctuaries of prayer. Concepts that have endured for generations past are finding new expression by those who are shaping the future for generations to come.